Texas League Baseball is next. And a good evening, everybody. We welcome you into this 4th of July Eve baseball stream. And now, here is the voice of the Texas League and your San Antonio Missions, the one, the only, John Baker. Well, thank you, Bob, and a good evening, everybody. We welcome you into this live broadcast of Texas League Baseball. Well, tonight is the final game of this 3-game homestand, and so far it is 4th of July Eve as we get ready to celebrate with more fireworks. Mother Nature being nice, she's delivering us some rain right now, so that means we'll have a pretty good night as we get set to go for this final game of our short 3-game set. After this one, Missions will pack the bags and head to Corpus Christi for the second half of 3, and then it's off to Wichita, Kansas to take on the Wind Surge. Go online now, samissions.com, purchase and print your tickets from home. You can also follow the Missions all season long with the First Pitch app or Bally Live or here on YouTube Live. You can download any of those as you go along the way. Well, I'm joined in the booth by my partner Bob and his lovely wife Ann. Hello, everybody. Well, hello, John. It's good to see you. Yeah, good to see you, John. And so far, happy 4th of July Eve. Yes, thank you. Happy 4th to everybody. And to all of our fans out there that know that tomorrow is the biggest day in celebration that all of us can celebrate together as a whole. Well, we have baseball, we have 4th of July, and we are up in Corpus Christi to celebrate the 4th of July. So that means we'll have baseball and fireworks at least for the next 2 nights. Even after July 4th, we'll have our second game of 3 against Corpus Christi. And so far, our last ever game being up in Corpus Christi for the year. Well, anyway, it was a terrific ball game last night. San Antonio won a pretty good one, 8-3, the final. Or was it 9-3? Yeah, it was about 9-3 that they came in and they got the ball game and they won their 46th of the season. And so far tonight, San Antonio going to try to win their 47th. And so far, going to be a pretty good night thus far for the San Antonio Missions and this team, Corpus Christi. Well, anyway, the weather forecast is showing rain, and so far, well, for all of us, we are in much need of the rain. It's cloudy, and yes, we do have some droplets coming down here at the ballpark, and so far, we're pretty good on that. We're doing really good, and so far, it's going pretty good. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and give you some early scores head on. Springfield leading 4-0 against Northwest Arkansas. Arkansas leading the Frisco Rough Riders. They are 5-2 in the top half of the second inning there at Statesman's Park. Bottom of the first inning for Tulsa. They are scoreless through the top half of 1. And so far, we're just about ready to go here in this ball game here in San Antonio. The Missions taking on Corpus Christi in this ball game. Well, anyway, let's stop talking and let's get on with our broadcast here as we present you this one. Well, Flying Chanclas have been canceled tonight, and so far we are pretty much just going to have a normal ball game. Missions in their home white uniforms, and so far it's going to be a pretty good one. Well, second baseman Nerwillian Cedeno is back in the lineup here tonight. And here is left-hander Austin Kropp. He gets the start for San Antonio in the third of this series. He's got a four-seam slider and a curveball and a changeup. And so far, pretty good in this one. Well, leading off for Corpus Christi, second baseman Jesus Bastidas coming in. Got a pretty good crowd here this evening. And so far, if you want, you can hang out and join in the fun as we get started for our post-game fireworks. That is, 1 ball and no strikes are underway as the pitch clock violation gets on Kropp early on. 1 ball, no strikes, and that's down and in. Change up, and the count now 2 balls and no strikes. Well, evidently we were supposed to have flying chanclas tonight, but on the 4th of July Eve, we are deciding we're not going to have that. Flying chanclas will return Friday, July 18th, as we take on the Amarillo Sod Poodles, so we will make it up to y'all when the flying chanclas return. 2 balls, 1 strike to Jesus Bastidas. Here is the pitch to him, and that is going to be lofted high in the air, deep to right field. Campbell will make the play, and he's got it for the out, and there's 1 down. Well, with that, let's give the visiting Corpus Christi starting lineups. And so far, Bastidas, Baez, Encarnacion, the leadoff 3. Daniel Smith, Deming, middle. Cole Jaworski, and Lavastida will round it out for the Corpus Christi Hooks here this evening. Right fielder Luis Baez coming in now, as he is set to go for Corpus Christi. Top of the first, 1 away, nobody on here in this half inning. Here's the windup and the pitch. That's an inside strike, and the count now at 0-1. Arkansas leading the Frisco Rough Riders 5-2 in the ball game. Wichita and Tulsa scoreless. Corpus Christi and San Antonio scoreless. 4-0 Springfield. They're taking on Northwest Arkansas, which that is a pretty good ball game. The Cardinals have really been on fire this past week. They've been winning a lot, and so far first place winners in the Texas League South, winning a 47th of the ball game in their series against the Naturals, which that is pretty good. No balls, 2 strikes to Luis Baez. Here's the pitch, and that is fouled, and the count now at 0-2. Well, fans must be enjoying the rain. Evidently, it is not coming down that hard, but glad it isn't. 0-2. And that is right there, foul. And the count now still holding 0-2. Well, we monitor the weather, and so far we're hoping and praying that thunderstorms will not come to San Antonio until early on. Austin Kropp talking with home plate umpire Jeff Andrews, wondering why that call was not made, but evidently Andrews told him that was down and in, so he is right on everything. Here's the 1-2. And that one is a high pop-up at straightaway right field, and that will go out of play, foul. So the count now 1-2. We want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July, and so far to all those that may come with us to Corpus Christi after tonight, that will be pretty good. That's going to be a line drive up the left field for a base hit. And that's going to be a 1-out single for Luis Baez as he comes in and puts that one right where he wants it. Well, that will bring in Luis Encarnacion as he comes in. And the windup and the stretch, that is right there for a ball. And the count now at 1 ball and no strikes to him. And a pitch. That one is a high pop-up and straightaway right field, and that is 1 ball and 1 strike. Last game of this first half here at home. Here's the 1-1. That one high in the air, deep to right center. Campbell on his horse, and he makes the play, and that is out number 2. Boy, right fielder Campbell been really good this year. And that'll bring up Zach Daniels, a left fielder here for Corpus Christi. Folks wearing their normal road grays, and so far Mission's promised to wear their flying chanclas tonight, but evidently we are not doing that this evening. That is right there in the count now, 1-1. Might wear flying chanclas gear tomorrow night when we're up in Corpus Christi. So far, if you come with us to Bayfront Park, that's a great thing too. 1-1, here's the pitch, and that's going to be right there. Cedeno will deliver right to shortstop Leo Dallas DeVries, as that will end the half inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, one left for Corpus Christi. We now head to the bottom of the first, and it's no score. San Antonio coming to bat next. So we'll be right back. This one brought to you in part by West Creek Trail Rides, the best place in San Antonio to go horseback riding. And yes, it is run by 2 pretty good staff members here in San Antonio, Texas. Come visit us at 151 and Wiseman Road, right off of 1604. And book your reservation online at westcreektrailrides.com. Military gets that pretty good discount. You pay $40, the military discount, even though it is $50, but the military discount is a 10% off, and that means you only pay $40. Just show proof of military ID, and you are good to go. Well, bottom of the first inning, bell set to go as we get things rolling in just a little bit. So we'll be back here right after commercial messages from San Antonio. Well, about set to go for the bottom of the first inning for San Antonio. Right now, the Missions Baseball Network. Well, got to say, Amarillo and Midland fixing to go tonight as they do the starting lineups. Here's a right-hander, Alonzo Treadwell, as he comes in for Corpus Christi. It's a four-seam slider, curveball, and a changeup as he gets going for the bottom of the first inning on the hill for Corpus Christi. Left fielder Albert Fabian coming in. Starting up now for San Antonio. Here's the windup and the pitch. That one is a high pop-up right there, third base area. And he waits on it, and there is one down. And that'll bring up Ethan Salas. But tonight, let's do the San Antonio starting lineups. Fabian Salas appears to be the leadoff 3. Castañon, Campbell, Roederer, middle. Rojas, Cedeno, and DeVries round out the batting order for the San Antonio Missions here this evening. Ethan Salas, the catcher, coming up now as He bats in the second area. So far, it looks like Frisco and Arkansas fixing to get a little rain there at Statesman's Park. Here in San Antonio, we're getting some much-needed rain, which that's pretty good. We needed the field to be nice and wet. Evidently, Dramas will make it up to you that Flying Chanclas will return. Second half of the season, which that will be Friday, July 18th. And, yeah, we might just go a 19th with Flying Chanclas as well. So, Chanclas and baseball, why not? We could do that. Just got to ask permission, and we'll see what goes from there. Well, 2 down as Salas is retired, as that one was a center field catch right there. Center fielder is Joshua Mears. He strides up next for San Antonio, which that is pretty good. See a little rain to pretty much keep the fireworks at bay. Make sure nothing gets caught on fire. So that's pretty good. Yeah, John, I got to say, I'm glad Mother Nature just gives us a little bit of rain. And that's what we were asking for. I mean, last night and through the first and second game of this series, we've had a little bit of rain. And so far today, on and off, it was raining at your place, right, John? Yeah, it sure was. It was coming down on and off, and so far it was pretty much a good thing that we got a little bit, but it got hot and humid after that. So 2 balls, 2 strikes to Joshua Mears. Here's the pitch. That one high and outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. First baseman Marcos Castañon coming up on deck for San Antonio. And that's going to be a ground hopper right to third, and they'll get him easily. And the side is retired. No runs, hits, or errors. Nobody left on for San Antonio. We now head to the second inning, and it's no score, 3-1. Smith, Deming, and Cole will lead it for the top of 2 when we come back here for Corpus Christi. Top of the second inning for Corpus Christi right now on the Missions Baseball Network. Thank you, Bob. Here is the third baseman, Cam Smith. He bats 5'6", due up against Austin Traub. And here is the pitch. That one is outside. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Rain not coming down as hard, but evidently starting to lighten up a little bit. Cloud cover will intensify tomorrow with scattered thunderstorms through the next 2 days while we're up in Corpus Christi. Might be a little bit of storm activity there at Bayfront Park, which evidently I think we've decided that we are headed up to Corpus Christi after tonight's game. Yeah, I got to say, John, I think it will be a good idea to finish off the series there, and so far be glad that we did. Yep, right there, the count now, 2 balls, 2 strikes. So far, pretty good evening for the grounds to be wet and well prepared for the fireworks show after this one. Here's the 2-2. That one skied high in the air up to the right field area. Castañon gets under it, and he'll make the play for out number 1.
Batting sixth, the designated hitter, Austin.
Don't forget, this is our last home game of the first half here in 2025. The designated hitter is Austin Deming. So we will see y'all back here at Wolf Stadium on Friday, July 18th, when we take on Amarillo, the Sod Poodles. And that's going to be right there. That's a liner straight away up to center field, and that is a base hit. It will be Sod Poodles and Rockhounds coming to San Antonio. 9-game homestand to lead off the second half of 2025. Here is Zach Cole, the number 7 hitter, coming up now for Corpus Christi. 1 out, 1 on here in the top of the second inning for the Hooks. And here's the pitch. And that one's going to be lined straight away. Left field, it's gone. And that is a 2-run shot by Zach Cole as he came in, and boy, he blistered that one out of here. And it's now Corpus Christi up by 2. So pretty good as he came in and crushed it right there. And now that'll bring up Chase Jaworski. Jaworski coming in. He'll take an inside strike, and the count now 0-1. Boy, pretty good as we celebrate this 4th of July, and so far everybody just getting out to the beach, their favorite vacation getaway places. And gotta say, pretty nice. That is high in the air. The pitcher Kropp has it, and there's 2 down. So right on the mound is where he was. And here is the Corpus Christi catcher, Brian Lavastida. Lavastida coming in is ready to go. But still debating. I mean, we have till the end of the night to come up with a good decision. Whether if we're broadcasting up in Corpus Christi tomorrow or we're going after this one. No balls and 2 strikes. The pitch now. Short 3-game set there, and then it's off to Wichita. But evidently we have done a lot. We have done a lot in Midland. We came back home, and so far we really just did 9 games. And so far I think it's best to say that Ben Gelman should get his 9 games in with coming back and getting things going. Well, Marcos Castañon will lead it off, but Corpus Christi gets a 2-run shot, and that will mean that they will lead by 2-0 against San Antonio. We had bottom of 2, and it is Corpus Christi 2, San Antonio 0. Bottom half of the second inning for San Antonio right now, the Missions Baseball Network. Well, evidently Amarillo and Midland have not yet started their broadcast just yet. I do believe we are getting ready for a 7:05 start there in Midland. Third of their three-game short set there at Franco Park. Gotta say, we were up in Franco Park last week against the Rockhounds, and so far, pretty good place for the Midland Rockhounds. That will be their ballpark for a very long time. Well, Rockhounds take the field, and so far they are getting ready to take on the Amarillo Sod Poodles. We'll start our three-game set against Amarillo on July 18th. That is the first Friday, leading off the second half of the season. And so far, pretty good on that. Well, anyway, Bob, I think it is best to say that Ben Gelman will be up in Corpus Christi to lead off the next three games and then 6 in Wichita. So make sure that you guys come in and have a good time, as we'll bring you the live action starting tomorrow evening through Sunday afternoon. And so far, we head on the bus from Corpus Christi to Wichita right after that. Anyway, we lead off the bottom half of the second inning as Marcos Castañon leads it off for San Antonio here on this Thursday evening. It is July 3rd. Nighttime baseball, and so far fireworks after this one. Marcos Castañon, 4, 5, and 6, due up against Alenzo Treadwell. Number 51 for Corpus Christi comes in and set to go here in this half inning for the Corpus Christi Hooks. Here's a 1-1, and that is inside, and the count now 1 ball, 2 strikes. So far, pretty nice. The rain, much needed. And that's a swing and a miss. Castañon down on strikes. And there's one down. That'll bring up the right fielder, Jacob Campbell. As he comes in, swings and misses at that one. The initial offering. And that will be no balls and 1 strike. Let's go ahead and give you some scores. Arkansas, boy, they lead a big deficit against the Frisco Rough Riders. It's Arkansas 7, Frisco 3. Wichita leading the Tulsa Drillers by 1-0. Bottom of 2 there at DCJ Field. Springfield still at 4-0 lead against Northwest Arkansas. Amarillo and Midland set to go in just a few minutes from now. There in Midland, Texas. That is Franco Park in the Permian Basin. Cole Roederer coming in as he hits that one out of play, and the count now at 0-1. You know, a lot of kids out of school, and yes, they are still on their summer break. Got to absolutely come into a ball game, and kids get 2 months of being off from school, which that is a pretty good thing. No balls, 2 strikes. Last strike for this half inning. So far, Corpus Christi up 2-0 against San Antonio. The Missions trailing the 2 in this series finale. That one's going to be right there. Liner straightaway up the right field, caught on the warning track, and that will pretty much end this half inning. No runs, hits, or errors, nobody left on for San Antonio. We go to the third. Bastidas, Baez, and Encarnacion will lead it off for the third when we come back. It's Corpus Christi 2, San Antonio 0. This is Bob, and we're about set for the third inning for Corpus Christi right now in the San Antonio Missions Baseball Network. Well, we're about set to go as the leadoff batter for Corpus Christi strides up in the right-hand batter's box. Top of the third inning, Austin Krob facing off Jesus Bastidas, 1, 2, and 3 here in the third in this game. That is right there and now to play. The count now 0-1. On this July 3rd, it is the Independence Eve. Independence Day Eve, I should say. 1 ball, 1 strike, and gotta say, we are honored to celebrate the greatest holiday America has ever seen, and it is celebrating the great USA. 1 ball, 1 strike. That one swing and a miss. The count now at 1-2. Gotta say, America is free and will always be free, and our military that brought us the freedoms that we didn't deserve, but they fought and died in the field of duty. The battlefield which they did. Cedeno will give that to Castañon, and that is out number 1. Now, I have a friend in Muskogee, Oklahoma, who serves, and it is his 6th year as serving in the Army Guard. Luis Baez coming in is 1 for 1 as he takes a slider outside. The count now 1-0. He is part of the Army, but he is the Army reserved. Evidently, he goes up there and he goes for a lot of training exercises, which that's pretty good there in Oklahoma. 2 balls and no strikes. Luis Baez. And that one is lofted high in the air. Cedeno, the second baseman, comes in, and he makes the play for 2 down. You know, Cedeno was out for the past 2 games during the start of this short 3-game set. But tonight he's doing a whole lot better after the injury there in Midland. In last week's game against the Rockhounds. Encarnacion coming in. Here's the windup and the stretch. That is high fly. Fouled off. The count now at 0-1. Wichita still leading Tulsa against the top of the third inning. It's 1-0 win surge. Boy, 7-3 there in Frisco, Texas. The Arkansas Travelers holding that 4-run lead against the Rough Riders, which that is pretty good for the Seattle Mariners AA team. Corpus Christi leading 2-0 against San Antonio. Top of the third, and boy, look at that one. That is crushed out of here deep to left, and you can say goodbye. It ain't coming back. That is gone. Luis Encarnacion gets one, and it makes it a Corpus Christi 3-0 lead. And so far, it looks to say that Corpus Christi, if they continue this big, huge deficit, they could win this series finale. It won't be their last time in San Antonio. We'll face them in September. I do believe it is September 7th when Corpus Christi comes to town. Be the last homestand in the month of September, and then it'll be off to Springfield to finish off the regular season. Well, 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on for Corpus Christi. We now head to the bottom of 3, and Corpus Christi holds a 3-0 lead against San Antonio as we head to the bottom of 3. Yendry Rojas will lead it off when we return here in this ball game. All right, we head to the bottom of the third inning for San Antonio. Right now, the Missions Baseball Network. Thank you, Bob. Leading off the bottom of the third is third baseman Yendry Rojas, as he is set to go for a strike and the countdown 0-1. Alonzo Treadwell will face off Rojas. 7-8-9 due up, bottom of three.
Outside.
And that is outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Corpus Christi 3, San Antonio 0, bottom of 3. And a pitch.
Ball.
And that's down and in, 2 balls, 1 strike. Gotta ask Ann, how you doing? I'm doing good, John. Bob, how about you? Doing great, John. Well, Nerwillian Cedeno on second baseman on deck for San Antonio. 3-1. And that's a full count now, 3-2.
3-2.
Well, still going pretty good on a little bit of the rain that we have left over. Cloudy conditions. Just rain and no lightning. But boy, that is ball 4. And Alonzo Treadwell
The second baseman.
will walk his first man on base. That'll bring up Nerwillian Cedeno. He takes that one high and outside for a ball. The count now 1-0. Boy, bottom of the first there in Midland. No score through the top half against Amarillo, which that is pretty good. That one is outside. The count now 2 balls and no strikes. So pretty good hold-ups here for the first 2 batters. And the bottom of the third for San Antonio. And a pitch. That is an inside strike, and the count now 2-1. Treadwell doing pretty good, but his pitch count is very high at 31. So he's got to get something going. And that one is going to be lofted deep in center field. And right there on the warning track, boy, the wind knocked it down. And that is one away. Cedeno is retired. And so far, pretty good on that as well. That'll bring up the 9-hole batter, shortstop Leo Dallas DeVries, which after the ball game, we will have a ceremony for him. Well, just before the fireworks show, he'll be called out close to the mound, and so far, we are going to give him a surprise right after this game here tonight. This regular season game here in San Antonio. And that is outside, ball 4, and there's another walk.
The left fielder, number 30, Albert.
So that puts the tying run on in for San Antonio. Here's the left fielder, Albert Fabian. Springfield leading 5-0 now against Northwest Arkansas. They got the bases loaded. 6, 7, and 8 runners potentially getting ready to go. The pitch outside for a ball. The count now 2-0. The left fielder Fabian. Fabian stands to be the tying run of this ball game. And the pitch. Swing and a miss right there. The count now 2-1. Well, it could have easily been ball 3 if he would have held up. But instead, he went after it. Here's the pitch. That one is high, and that will go out of play foul. So the count now at 2-2. First and second, one away here in this ball game. It's 3-0 Corpus Christi. And fouls that one away. Still holds on 2-2. Just don't want to go down after giving up a 2-0 count. He was pretty much in the driver's seat. And that is outside for a full count and at least 3 balls and 2 strikes. Uh-oh, we got an injury, and at least the conclusion of the last play, Alonzo Treadwell was clutching at the midsection. The trainer believes that Treadwell may have pulled something in the obliques or oblique or the ab region. Treadwell will need to be removed out of this game and may need to take it easy for at least a few days. Well, Jairo Solis will take on the injured teammate from Alonzo Treadwell, and we will keep Treadwell in our prayers just to make sure that he's okay. Jairo Solis pitching in for Corpus Christi in relief. He comes in this ball game, and that is going to be lofted. That is deep. That is high right there. And here he goes. And he's safely at third. And it's first and third here in this one. Well, that's going to bring in the next batter up, Ethan Salas. So for Alonzo Treadwell for Corpus Christi, getting injured, and athletic trainer going out there to see what was the matter. Evidently being removed out of this ball game due to an injury. Going to be out for a few days, so they'll make sure to keep him off the roster, at least for now. No balls at 2 strikes. And a pitch. And that one is right there, fouled. And the count now, 0-2. Well, Tower of Americas is red, white, and blue tonight. We celebrate Independence Day Eve, which that is always a July 3rd.
One ball.
That one is outside. The count now 1-2. First and third here in this ball game. And that gets away. And first run in to score on a wild pitch. And boy, the San Antonio Missions finally getting something going. They score in Rojas. And boy, pretty good on that one. Boy, Corpus Christi not happy about that. Here's the 2-2. That one high for the ball, and the count now at 3 balls and 2 strikes. That is a loaded up count right there. Got to be careful for ball 4 because that could load up another batter on base. And that's down and in. Oh boy, magic words being said right there.
The center fielder.
Now that is another elimination. Boy, going down in order. Tying run now at first base. And here is center fielder Joshua Mears. He takes a slider down and inside for a strike. And it's 0-1. Ethan Salas is on first. Leo Dallas DeVries is second. 2 down here in this bottom of third. And that's going to be lofted right there. Line drive base hit. And he comes in. And that's going to be a run in to score. And now Corpus Christi is leading this game only on a thread. And it's 3-2 after that RBI single by Joshua Mears. Boy, San Antonio trying to push the momentum upward. First baseman Marcos Castañon takes it high and outside for the ball. The count now 1-0 to him. So last time he struck out is 0 for 1. First and third, 2 away in this game. They were down 3-0. They are coming back, getting in some runs, and that's a strike inside. The count now 1-1. 7-4 Arkansas. That's going to be high fly in the air. And right there to right field, as that will pretty much end the half inning. Well, 2 runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left on for San Antonio. 4th inning coming up. Corpus Christi leading this game 3-2. Smith, Deming, and Cole will lead it off when we start the 4th here in San Antonio. It's a 3-2 ball game. Now set to go for the fourth inning for Corpus Christi right now on the Missions Baseball Network. Well, third baseman Cam Smith coming up now for Corpus Christi. Austin Kropp coming in for his fourth inning of work in the mound for San Antonio. He'll face off 5, 6, and 7 Cam Smith. And so forwardly, that will be a strike inside, and the count now at 0-1. Final home game of the first half here in 2025. So far, don't miss us too much when we're in Corpus Christi and next week in Wichita. The last 6-game meetup of the year between San Antonio and the Wind Surge. We had at least 12 games this year for the San Antonio Missions and the Wichita Wind Surge, which that is pretty good. We've had our start of the year against Wichita, which that was pretty good. Designated hitter is Austin Deming as he comes in. Frisco trailing 3 against the Arkansas Travelers, which that is pretty good. Still enough time for a rally back there in Frisco, right, Bob? Gotta say, yeah, there is. Well, I tell you one thing, we've had the start with Amarillo, and yep, we're going to have another injury. Austin Kropp is clutching the elbow, and this could be anything. The hope is that it's some soreness, but the possibility exists that this could be more serious. Kropp will need to be removed from the game and will be off shortly to have an MRI taken. So that is not good. We'll have 2 injuries following the 2 starters of the ball game, and both of them pretty much getting injured right off the bat. Left-hander Austin Davis coming in to fill in as he'll be called upon to pitch here for San Antonio. So far, Amarillo, Northwest Arkansas, and Corpus Christi and Frisco. Wichita, Midland. And so far, those were the teams that came in. Corpus Christi and Amarillo, Midland, Springfield. Amarillo and Corpus Christi will be the last home games left of this year. 1-1. Right there to the shortstop, Leo Dallas DeVries. And right to Castagnon there at first for the out.
The center fielder, number 6, Zach Cole.
Well, that'll bring up Zach Cole, the center fielder. He was a 2-run shot last time in the second, and is 1-for-1. I will say, please don't miss us too much when we're gone for a while, but evidently our first home game of the first half, or should I say second half? Yep, it will be the second half, which that is the Friday, July 18th you're talking about. Yep, a short 3-game set against Amarillo, 6 against Midland. Be the last time we see the Rockhounds for the year. Evidently 2 of my favorite ball clubs in the Texas League. And that is right there, the count now, no balls and 2 strikes. Well, I do got to say, with retrospect, we're supposed to have our 2026 baseball schedules coming out. That is going to be right there, ground hopper right in front of Cedeno, right to Castagnon, and that ends the inning. So no runs or a hit, no errors, and nobody left on for Corpus Christi. There was 1 injury, though. We head to the bottom of the 4th, and it's Corpus Christi 3, San Antonio 2. Right fielder Jacob Campbell, Roederer, and Rojas will lead it off for San Antonio when we come back. Right, about set to go for the bottom of the fourth inning, and that will bring us to the right fielder, Jacob Campbell. And take it away, John. Thank you, Bob. And that's a slider. It's down and in with the count now, no balls and one strike. Seems like the heaviest of all rain is not here just yet, but we are watching it on Doppler radar just south of the San Antonio area. And that is right there. The count now at 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the pitch. That is right there, high in the air, up to right field. The right fielder has it, and that is out number 1.
Now batting, the designated hitter.
Coming down a little bit heavy.
Roederer.
The designated hitter is Cole Roederer. He's 0 for 1. And the pitch. And that one is high fly in the air and out of play. The count now at no balls and 1 strike. Here's the 0-1. That one high in the air up to the left field area. And that is out number 2.
Now batting, the third baseman, Yendry.
Yendry Rojas, the third baseman coming in. He was an inherited walk in the third. And so far, pretty good on that. Well, John, do you think there could be some heavy rainfall coming in? Well, if we get the heaviest of this rain, evidently we will have to put to a stop the live stream for at least a little while. No balls, 2 strikes. Yendry Rojas at the plate now. And he swings and misses right there down in the dirt. Throw down to first. And that is a 1-2-3 inning. No runs, hits, or errors for San Antonio. We head to the 5th inning. And Corpus Christi leading this game 3-2. And it looks like the heaviest rain will pretty much get to San Antonio here in the 5th. And we are going into a rain delay as we get this top of 5 going. So Corpus Christi leading this game 3-2. Top of the 5th inning here in San Antonio. And yep, here comes a rain. And boy, it is coming down heavy. We are going to be in a weather delay. So we will be here for more baseball if necessary. And so far, just glad that you guys are having fun as well as we are in this live stream. Well, continuously, we will be right back, and we'll give you some scores in the Texas League. And this one, our score here in San Antonio, here on this 4th of July Eve, Corpus Christi 3 and San Antonio 2. So we'll be right back in a little while.